Supreme Court agrees to hear the case, which will decide whether former President Trump has immunity for his actions as president. There's a lot of noise out there about this. So let's try for some sensible talk for what we call the marginalized moderate majority, right? Those not looking to use this for partisan points or make vast overstatements or to say the sky is falling. I'm going to tell you exactly what I think so you can decide for yourselves. I disagree with how the court has handled this, okay? I also completely disagree with those who suggest that this proves the court is illegitimate. I think that's just downright dangerous talk. Look, there's no way they're going to rule that Donald Trump or any other president of the United States has total immunity. But it's true. This is a huge win for Donald Trump because this is all about the clock, right? Though the court is technically expediting the process, they won't hear arguments in the case until the week of April 22nd. They likely won't rule until the end of June. And that probably means Trump won't stand trial in the 2020 election case in D.C. until after the 2024 election, if ever. They could have done this a lot faster. They didn't. But it's also not crazy that the Supreme Court would want to weigh in on this major issue. It's true that most of the time the court only gets involved when there's a close call, right? When there's some disagreement in the lower courts. There hasn't been here. But many on the left, rather than just critiquing it, are suggesting that the justices are downright corrupt, questioning the very legitimacy now of the high court.
The legitimacy of the Supreme Court, by the way, is at stake. And I know that Justice Roberts, the Chief Justice, is often reported to be someone who cares very much about the legitimacy of his institution. He appears to have, really dealt a blow to the credibility of the institution.
This is BS. You are doing this as a dilatory tactic to help your political friend, your partisan patron. And for you to say that this is something that the court needs to decide because it's something that's unclear in the law is just flagrant bullpucky, and they know it, and they don't care that we know it, and that's disturbing about the future legitimacy of the court.
They are pushing this country right to the brink of a fundamental crisis of legitimacy and of credibility, not just of the court, but of the whole democratic experiment.
This is dangerous talk. The words matter. And Democratic political leaders, including some lawyers, are doing it too.
I feel very, very strongly that the credibility and stature of the Supreme Court has crumbled.
We are going to have to think about what our actions are in terms of reining in this rogue Supreme Court, bringing judicial reform and ethics back to the court so that its credibility is restored.
Outrage, outrage, outrage. Look, I said it before. I disagree with the court's decision to hear this case at all, okay. But that doesn't mean I would suggest that they're corrupt. This is a very conservative court. And any judge who tells you, we just decide things based on the law, is ignoring the reality of human nature. There's no such thing. Everything involves some intersection of law and other principles. But the biggest liberal critics of the court, now railing about how illegitimate the court has become when a ruling doesn't go their way, are ignoring the many other decisions that show the court is not just a body of partisan hacks. Here's what they don't talk about. Just in the last week, the Supreme Court sided against Republicans in 2 different politically charged cases. They don't talk about that, right? In one, 3 Republican members of Congress, including Marjorie Taylor Greene, had a lawsuit thrown out by a lower court. The House members challenged fines they were slapped with for defying the congressional mask mandate during the early days of the pandemic. Greene racked up more than $100,000 in fines for her violations, a penalty which was upheld by the House Ethics Committee. A D.C. federal judge tossed her case and their case. An appeals court upheld that decision. Supreme Court refused to hear it. 3 right-wing Republicans bring a case. Supreme Court effectively rules against them. Even more notable, in light of the decision to hear the Trump immunity case, the High Court also refused to hear an appeal from several Trump-aligned lawyers who were sanctioned for making baseless claims in a 2020 election lawsuit. They don't talk about that one either. Sidney Powell, Lynn Wood, and others were hit with more than $175,000 in sanctions for making claims about the 2020 election that a Michigan court determined were frivolous. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.